How is everyone doing today? Thank you guys for tuning in for part 2 of our Art of Practicing workshop. So today we're going to go over the games, and this is an extension from last time where we talked about the basics. So I hope that you guys were able to use some of the things that you learned the first time into this one. I also have been hearing some great things from some of your teachers that you guys have been using things such as the notebook and writing things down. So that's very cool. So now this is what I want to do. I want to ask a simple question before Janie and myself get started. And once again, as a reminder, so we have Janie here who teaches with Sounds Academy. She teaches piano. Then we have myself who specializes in strings with Sounds Academy. So we're going to ask this simple question. Is practicing fun? So let's see what you guys think about that one. Is practicing fun? And I'll give you guys about 10 more seconds. Got 2 more people that need to answer. Waiting for one more. All right. So it looks here that most of you guys think that practicing is fun sometimes. We have a couple of people that says, yes, of course. And we have a couple of you that think not really and that it's torture. So hopefully we can change the minds of some of you people that think that it's torture or not really. So this is what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be talking about 9 games. So we got measures in a bowl, roll the dice, tic-tac-toe, pig or horse, Metronome Wars, the stopwatch, music basketball, the foodie, and from finish to start, also known as bring it back. So we're going to pass it over to Miss Janie, and we're going to talk about the first one, measures in a bowl.
Hi guys, good to see, or not see, good to be with you guys again today. So we're going to talk about the measures in a bowl, which I mentioned in our last part 1 session. So for example, if you guys have your music with you as you're watching this, you can even start doing this right now. So if you have your music, if you have a blank piece of paper and a pencil, that's all you need. So if you have that, go ahead and do this with me. Kirk is going to pull out a piece that I used as an example for today. So just for you guys who are working on shorter pieces or one-page pieces, you can start by measuring off each of your, or numbering each of your measures. So if you have a one-page piece that's simple, just write and draw a measure at a time with the numbers and place those measures in a bowl. So if you have a 16 measure piece, you should have 16 little pieces of paper that have numbers on it like this. So that's measure 14. So for example, if I'm doing this now, say if I have like 5 or 10 minutes I want to dedicate to practice, and I have this piece that Kirk is pulling up. Each of my measures are numbered. And so say if I pull out a number, and this says 11, so I pull out 11, and I'm going to transfer it from this bowl of pieces of paper to this bowl that I haven't played yet. So this is just a good example of how you can play all of your measures by tracking which measures you've already played. So I pulled out measure 11. So if you could look at measure 11, and hopefully you can hear this pretty good. I'm going to play measure 11 5 times because that's my magic number. So I'm going to play that 5 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So say if I were to make a hiccup, then I would do it again. So for me, I want to play it 5 times correctly. You could do it 5 times just to get the practice through. But if you want to do it correctly, make a number that you can see how many times you can play it correctly before moving on. So that's a way to do it. I'll do one more just as an example. And this one says measure 13. So you can see that on the piece. I'm going to play that one now. Measure 13 is right by where I have section 2. And then play again. 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 So that's how you can get through a lot of tricky spots that are tricky measures. If there's like a tricky measure I know I have in one of my pieces, then sometimes I'll put more of those measures in there when I'm doing it. Also, if you sit down and you're like, I'm going to practice for 5 minutes, that's a way to be productive in 5 minutes, just pulling out a measure that you can play. And then when you come back, pick out a different measure that you can play. And so it kind of makes it fun and enjoyable. You're sitting down and even making use of 10 minutes of practice, like Kirk said, 10 minutes every day or smaller bits that you can get down to practice instead of going through from the beginning to the end of a piece. So that goes over the measure numbers. And now I'm going to work on the next part, which is the dice. So that's one way to do it for smaller pieces, having measures in a bowl. And for people who have, those of you students who have bigger sections, dice is a good way to use for those bigger sections. So in the same example piece that I have, I didn't section it off the way that you would technically, in theory, section off correctly. I just sectioned off the parts that I want to practice. So the parts that like measures 1 through 8 is a section I want to get down. So you use dice from either physical dice you have from a game or the dice app. So for example, I have the dice app on my phone. And so this is good for bigger sections or even scales. So a lot of you who are trying to learn scales, major, minor, any of those scales, this is a good way to say A minor is going to be 1 through 3 dice. So if I roll a 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to play A minor scale. If I roll a 4, 5, or 6, I'm going to play E major scale. Whatever scales you're working on, you can even have 6 scales and have each number represent a scale. And that's a good way to just set your week of how you're going to do it. So I'm going to try that example now. So I just tap it, And for me, I have a 2. So 1 and 2 is going to be my section 1. 3 and 4 is going to be my section 2. And 5 and 6 is going to be my section 3. So that same piece that I had up, I just had it in different sections. I have 3 sections of the piece. And I'm going to roll a 6. And so I'm going to play section 3 because 5 and 6 is section 3 that I want to practice and get better at. And then I could do that 5 times, 3, 5, 7, 10 times over and over. I'll do it one more time. So say if I roll the dice, I get a 5. Well, 5 was the last section. We can try one more time. A 3. So if I practice section 2, because 2 and 3 are my second section that I want to get good at. So I'm going to start on the section 2 right there. And then I can play that 5, 6, 7, like I said, however many times that it takes for me to get through my hiccup spots. So for those of you that are that have bigger sections, that's a great way to do it. This I just sectioned off based on the parts. So the first few measures I didn't need to practice because I have that down. Section 1 I wanted to get smooth, and then section 2. So you can kind of change that up. That's why I encourage you guys to use pencils, because you can erase. So the first week you might have this part as section 1 to do the dice game. Once you get that solid, you move to the next page and mark off a section that's tricky. So that's how you can separate sections of a piece based on where your trouble spots are. So I will hand it back to Kirk, and thanks for listening.
Can you guys hear me? All right, good. All right, thank you very much for that. So now we're going to talk about tic-tac-toe. And remember, you guys can use the Q&A to ask your questions, and we're going to be playing some games also. So I'm going to call on someone. I might take volunteers, we'll see. But I'm going to call on someone to play this next game. So I'm going to show you how tic-tac-toe works, and I'm going to do another one that's very similar to tic-tac-toe. So tic-tac-toe is very good for if you're in a classroom. So if you're a classroom teacher, if you have a sibling, if you are a parent, so if you're watching with your parents right now and you want to play a game to test what you're doing, this is a great game for that. So you can do this with scales, you can do this with the measures like Miss Janie just showed you, you can do this with the sections like Miss Janie just showed you. So I'm going to tell you how it works. Very simple. This is a tic-tac-toe grid. So we play tic-tac-toe very simply, and I'm going to do it with Miss Janie with scales. So I'm going to get my instrument. And what's going to happen is Miss Janie is going to ask me to play certain scales. And I'm going to play those scales. And if I get it correct, I'm going to get an X. If I don't get it correct, she gets to get an O. All right, you ready, Miss Janie?
Yes, Kirk, right. You play me the C major scale.
Oh, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to select the upper right, nope, upper left. I'm gonna do upper left.
Two claps for Mr. Kirk if you guys did that. Nice. Okay. Right. Kirk, will you play the F major scale?
Ooh, all right. So here's the cool thing about this game. You can get 2 X's in a row. So since I played it 2 times in a row correctly, I get to go again. So I'm gonna go right here in the middle right. All right, let's go.
Good. Did you guys hear that tone even when he was doing a scale? So he's implementing tone, all those things too. You guys can do that in the scales. Kirk, will you play a D major scale?
Ooh. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. All
I
right.
didn't. Oh.
All right. Where do you want yours?
I want mine on the middle.
All right, cool. All right, you get to go again.
Okay. Kirk, can you play the C sharp major scale?
Ooh. What do you guys say? Did I play that right? Do I get the X or does Miss Janie get the O? What do you guys say? I got 1 vote for an X. I got 2 votes for an X.
Interesting.
Got Israel on the O.
Okay, girl, I'm with you there. Praise, good job.
All right, I must admit, I did mess up that one. So I have to be honest with myself because that's part of this. So even if I mess up, it's okay to mess up. So where would you like to go, Miss Janie?
I would like to go in the lower left corner, please.
Okay, so now the pressure's on. All right, what's my next one?
Okay, pressure's on, he's feeling it. Let's do a G major scale, Kirk.
I'm back. All right, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna block you, upper right. All right, what's next?
Okay, E major scale is next.
E major.
Mm-hmm.
I think I messed that one up.
I think so. I think I get an O.
Where do you want to go?
Place the O in the upper middle, please?
All right. All right, what's next? I think I can close this one out.
Yes, let's close it out with an A major scale.
All right. Woo!
Woo!
All right, so I get
Kirk.
tic-tac-toe in a row. So if you guys are playing this with your parents, you guys can even lobby for prizes and such. So try that on one day. All right, so who would like to play my next game with scales? Oh, we got Israel. All right. Let's see if we can, wait, where's Israel? Let's see if I can get Israel here. Gotta move a couple of windows. Oh, I can't, maybe I can do this. Oh, I cannot allow Israel to talk. Oh, can you go next to Abraham, Israel? Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right, is Israel next to you?
No,
Where's Israel?
he's in his room.
Oh,
Israel, get out!
you mean come in?
No, I'm outside, actually.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I'll just go over to him.
All right. So the way that as Abraham goes to Israel, I'm going to tell you guys how pig or horse works. It works the same as the basketball game. What you do is you're trying to get the correct scale so that you don't get a P. So then if you play it incorrectly, you get a P. And then if you play 2 of them incorrectly, you get an I. So you're trying to get through everything that you need to get through without getting a P, I, or a G. And then if you have more things to do or more time, you can play horse. So this works great with classrooms as well. So I'll tell a classroom, all right, we have to play the first section of a certain piece. And if you guys can play it and everyone can remain concentrated, then we'll be able to do this. So Israel, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this with scales, all right?
Okay.
All right, only 2 octaves, so only 2 octaves.
Okay.
Let's do the C major scale. Excellent, 2 snaps for Israel. All right, let's do the F minor scale.
No.
All right, good job. So I'm gonna give you a P for, I'm gonna give you a P for that one. We're only gonna do 5 of them, don't worry. We gotta do, oops, I meant to tell you guys that too. It's good for classrooms. All right, so you get a P for that one. All right, let's do, did I give you F minor? That's what I just gave you?
Yeah.
Let's do F major. Give him 2 snaps. All right, what scales would you guys like to hear him play? Let's see if we have any votes in the chat.
C sharp minor.
No.
Anyone in the chat have a scale for Israel? Give you guys 3 seconds, 2 seconds. A minor.
A minor.
What?
What do you guys think? Should we give him that I or does he pass the round?
I.
What do you think, Israel?
I.
No.
You said I?
No,
Yeah.
No, I.
All right, so what do you think, Miss Janie?
I think his teacher says I too. I know he can do that better.
All right, so I think you have one more to do. Here we go. We want to hear G major. Let's see if you can pass.
That one does not count. Abraham messed me up.
No.
Abraham, no messing up your brother. But this game is fun because it shows you a lot of concentration and you try not to get that G. So let's give 2 snaps for Mr. Israel. All right, excellent job. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, so then he did not earn his G, so that's a good thing. So now Metronome Wars. Who has a metronome? So if you have a metronome, can you please write snap, snap in the comments, please. All right, good, good. I like that. So I'm gonna upload my metronome. So this thing is something I started doing in high school when I wanted to audition for orchestras and I had to learn how to play faster. So I made up this game where I take a metronome. Can you guys see my metronome? I take a metronome and I always start from one of 2 numbers. So I want to see who really knows me. There's only 2 numbers I start with on the metronome. What are those 2 numbers? I'll give you guys a chance as I explain what Metronome Wars is. So if I play it correctly, I give myself 5 points or I go up 5. If I play it incorrectly, I mess up, I take away 3 points or go down 3. And so I do start with 60 or 100. Those are my 2 numbers, 60 or 100. Excellent job, Miss Praise. So now what I'm gonna do, someone last time asked if we do different genres of music. So I'm going to do a jazz chord progression for this one. And I'm gonna set my metronome. Can you guys hear this? I'll take that as a yes. All right, good. So then I come to my piano. and I'll do that 10 times. So I'm gonna take that one tempo and I do it a few times, right? I played it correctly, so I'm gonna give myself 5. So you guys see this? I'm gonna press the plus, and I'm going to do, oh, wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna press the plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's gonna go a little bit faster. So when I do that, then I'll give myself 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I messed up. So if I messed up, I go back 1, 2, 3. So that's what I'm doing. So, and then I try it. And I always find something I could just repeat over and over again. So I'm doing 4 measures, 8 measures, things like that. And then I set a goal. So I always set a goal. So for something like this, I would tell myself, I want to be able to get from 60 to 80 today. And then the next day, I want to say I want to get from 70 to 90. So I'd always start a little bit slower than what I could do, and then I go up faster and faster. And so whenever I was trying to audition for orchestras, and when I tried to audition for this one orchestra, I didn't make it. And the reason I didn't make it is because I couldn't play fast enough. So then I got myself to play fast enough by playing this simple thing. And so the Metronome Wars are very good for learning how to play things fast. So if this is something that you guys think you can use, snap twice. So now I'm gonna have a question for you guys, since you guys know I love questions so much. And my question is, which game do you like the most so far? So we got measures in a bowl, we have roll the dice, we have tic-tac-toe, and we have Metronome Wars. So which ones do you guys like the most so far? Give you guys 10 more seconds. And then the answer should be someplace on your screen in the poll. All right, let's see what we got here. It looks like most of you like tic-tac-toe. So excellent. So that means I expect you guys to, and this tic-tac-toe is something you can do with your siblings. You guys can go back and forth. Your parents can definitely help. So if your mom or dad are doing something like preparing dinner, or if they are winding down for the day, washing dishes, then you can practice while they're washing dishes and you're actually playing a game. So now I'm going to go to our next one, which is the stopwatch. I'd like to get a volunteer for the stopwatch. With the stopwatch, I'm gonna tell you what happens. So what we do is we can do parts of the instrument, you can do flashcards, you can do key signatures. So basically, you're trying to make yourself go faster or say things faster. It's very good for if you're trying to name facts or if you're trying to remember anything. And just a note to the side, you can actually really use this for school as well, and it works marvelously. So what I'm gonna do is this. Actually, I think we could do something all together. This is the parts of the violin and the bow. So now what I wanna do, I'm gonna do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its serenity. So I'm gonna see if we can get Serenity to join us. And what we're gonna do is we're going to name the parts of the violin and the bow. Serenity, are you there?
Yeah.
Cool. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna play this game, and I'm just gonna point to the different parts, and we're gonna see how many of them you can get in 40 seconds. So do you see all the parts that you can see here?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready to play?
Mute the TV now.
I don't have a fancy name for this one, but are you ready to play parts of the violin?
Sure.
It's supposed to sound like Price is Right. It's supposed to be like screaming and like yelling and going, yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and all my friends in Arizona and my friend Amanda. All right, we'll work on it. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start with this one. We're gonna disappear and go. Wait, don't go. All right, go. What is this part called?
Um,
You wanna start from another part?
sure.
You wanna start from here? Oops. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna actually, I messed up the stopwatch, so I'm gonna go back. So the point is you have to look at them first. So can you see these names in here?
Yeah.
So you're going to name do you notice how they point to certain parts of the instrument?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing is naming the parts of the instrument. So what is this called?
Girl.
What is this called?
Pegs.
What is this called?
Neck.
So do you see how this works?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to, where do you want to start from? Do you want me to start from here or do you want me to start with the bow?
The bow.
All right. I'm going to start with the bow and then we're going to do this in 30 seconds or less since we have a couple more games to do. Are you ready to play parts of the violin and the bow?
Yes.
We're really going to work on this. All right. Oh, wait. On your mark. I'm going to start from here. Get set and go.
Okay, just say it. The tip.
Thank you. That's 1 point.
Hair.
2 points.
Frog.
3 points. It begins with an S, and it's exactly what it looks like. All right.
Oh.
In 3 seconds, you got 3 points. Give somebody 2 snaps. And then the next time you do it, you would look at them and study a little bit more. And then you would do even more points the next time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. Thank you for joining our game, Miss Serenity. All right, so now I'm going to move to music basketball. Is there anyone out there that likes basketball? If so, let me get 2 snaps. So here's how music basketball works. It's good for repeating stuff, people that are active. So if you have a child, a student that's really active and they need to take mini breaks, I recommend music basketball. And what you can do is you just get a piece of paper, simple piece of paper, and then you get a trash can. Can you see my trash can? So yeah, so there's nothing in there since I'm the only one in here today. And what I do is I find a simple song and then I'm gonna play a line and then I'm gonna shoot. And if I make it in, I can go to the next line. But as a bonus question for the people that were here last time, can you guys remind me what letters would I put in front of these three lines? Let's see who can remember this from last time. What letters would I put in front of these three lines? I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to see who can remember. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. All right, that's what we got here. So this is going to be A. Excellent job, 2 snaps if you gave me A. Next is going to be B. 2 snaps if you got it right so far. And then last but not least is going to be, for all the marbles, A. 2 snaps. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with A. If I play it correctly, I'm gonna take this piece of balled up paper and I'm gonna try to shoot it into the basketball hoop. Well, it's a trash can, but you get it. All right, here we go. All right, do I get a shot? Let's see what you guys say. All right, I get a shot, so now I'm gonna move this over here. All right, here we go. Woo! Like shooting free throws. Oh, I missed. So I gotta do it again. So then I put down my instrument. I gotta go back and get my ball. Here we go. Oh, I missed. So then I'd have to do it again. And so then you go so on and so forth. So does that make sense, guys? I think that's something that you guys can definitely use in your practicing. And if you have bigger pieces, you can still do it as well. The foodie. If you like food, let me get a snap, snap. So here's how the foodie works. This, my friends, can you guys see this? Nope, can't. Let me try it this way. Can you guys see those? So these are Jolly Ranchers. And I like to do these in lessons. And what I'll do is I'll take 5 Jolly Ranchers and I'll put them on my music stand. So if I put it on my music stand, and let's say that I'm trying to learn a harder piece. So with this harder piece, it's the same as the basketball, but a little bit different. But so still good for repetition. It's still good for active children that you may have, and still good for mini breaks. You take a song, and with this one's a little bit, this song looks long, but it's not that long, because this line is the same as this line. And then this line is the same as this line, but it starts in the middle. So I tell myself, I have to play the section correctly to get the food. It also works great with popcorn. Does anyone like popcorn? It works well with potato chips. And with that, you can eat them right away. It works well with raisins. It works well with peanuts as well. So what I do is I tell myself, all right, I'm trying to earn this one. And let's say that section, the beginning is the hard part. So I do. And I get it correct. I take it on this side of the stand and I put it on the other side of the stand. So then I do it again. All right, I gotta take it. If I mess up, I take it and I put it back on the other side. So then I try it again. put it on this side. And then if I go to the next section, I go. So then I take it and I get 2 now on this side. So I try to bring as many as I can over to the other side. And then after I'm done, I eat my snacks. So that's what I do. Now it's time for the bring it back section. The bring it back section really works very well for songs where they're very difficult and they're very long. It also really works well if you're trying to memorize a song. So I have a question for you. When you're performing, what are the 2 sections, the 2 parts of the song that people remember the most? So when you're playing a concert, when you're playing a song, when you're listening to a concert, when you're listening to a song, what are the 2 sections that you remember the most? I'll give you guys 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, if you said the beginning and the end, ding, 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 you are correct. So those are usually the 2 sections that people remember. And so because of that, I always try to make the end sound really good, because even if I mess up in the beginning and I do a really good job at the end, you won't remember. So this is a song that I like. It's called the J.C. Bach Viola Concerto in C minor. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I've got to close a couple of windows so that I can see this in its entirety. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start right here. So I tell myself I have to play this correct 4 times, starting right there. Then I do it again. Then I'm gonna try to do it with my eyes closed. And then I'd go on, so on and so forth. So then after I do that, so I started from the end, I go to the second to last line, and I do this. And then I do that 4 or 5 times, and then I go to the third to last line. So and then who can guess what I do next? So I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to tell me what you think I do next. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Yes, I go to the line above it. Oops, boom, right here. So then what I do is And something cool about this as well is that you can start to, for those of you that are a little bit more advanced, you can start to combine games. So what you can do is say, I'm going to make it so that it goes faster and faster. So you can take your metronome. I'm going to start from this fourth to last line again. And so I was going about da, 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 da. Now I'm going to go da, 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 da. So I'm going to look forward to seeing some of you guys do this in your practice rooms as well. Now, I have a new question of the day. So the poll is going to come up. So be patient and wait for the poll. And I am going to ask you, what game do you like the most so far? So which game do we like the most? It looks like some of the tic-tac-toe people have switched. I'm gonna give you guys 10 more seconds, and then 9, then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it looks like people like the Foodie along with music basketball for a tie. So it's going to be interesting to see how you guys start to redo your practicing now that you have all these games that you can do along with it. Are there any questions before I go to the final tips? I see nothing in the Q&A. So here are some final tips that I have for you guys. Tip number 1, if you're playing a game by yourself, you need to be honest with yourself. So that means that if you're playing scales, for example, something as simple as scales, and you miss a note, I didn't do well. So go back and do it again. Even if you miss one note. Go back and fix that note. Tip number 2, if you're playing a game with someone else, there should not be fighting. Rock, paper, scissors settles everything. So if there's some type of discrepancy, some type of little argument, you should just say, you know what, rock, paper, scissors. And whoever wins the rock, paper, scissors gets the point, or whoever rock, paper, scissors wins that argument. And then you just let it go. Tip number 3, if you're playing a game against your parents or a teacher, the oldest person has the final say. This is just a rule I learned when I was younger. It's also known with your parents is whoever pays the bills is the person who wins the argument and has the final say. So make sure that you are not arguing with teachers, you're not arguing with parents. If they tell you to do it again, do it again. It's that simple. And last but not least, it's just a game. So have fun with it. So in the end, it will make you a better player. So you're just trying to find these little tools so that you can always make yourself better. So once again, any questions before we conclude?
We have one question in the Q&A.
All right, what's the question?
What game do you recommend? And it was asked by Amanda.
It depends. So okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go all the way, can I? All right, I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning and say that if you're younger versus more advanced, if you're playing something fast versus something slow, if you're playing something new versus something old, it depends. So if I am trying to switch things up, I'm gonna do measures in a bowl. If I am trying to make it so that I'm ready for a concert, I'm going to do measures in a bowl or roll the dice. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I am rolling the dice and I don't have control over what I get to play, then it makes me have to practice more. And then I wonder if you guys know this. People tend to practice blank most of the time. So I'm gonna see if you guys can finish the blank. People tend to practice blank most of the time. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. I'll give you guys 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, so the answer is people tend to practice the easy part most of the time. So they go in and they get the hard part and they avoid the hard part. When you roll the dice, when you do measures in the bowl, you can't avoid the hard part because if it comes up on the dice, you got to do it. Tic-tac-toe, pig, I like doing those with classes. I like doing that when I'm with people. I like doing that just for fun. Metronome Wars, I'm using that if I'm trying to play faster. Same with stopwatch. If I'm trying to just fire off on things, I'm using stopwatch and Metronome Wars. Music basketball is just fun to me. So I started doing that probably in college because I was just bored of practicing this one particular thing, but it was hard, but I had to get myself to do it. So then you have to trick yourself. You trick yourself by doing things like music basketball. I like food. I like food a lot. So therefore, I like the Foodie. So that one is great as well. And I like finish to start or bring it back because it allows me to mix my brain up. So if I can trick my brain, if I can do things to make things not normal. So what's normal? Normal is going from beginning to end. So you're gonna get that. Every time you try to play something from beginning to end, you will get that. But if I make it go from the end to the beginning, then I'm tricking my brain. So that's why I like that one as well. So any other questions? And I'm putting this one up since someone asked me to leave that one up there. Do you have any other questions, Ms. Janie?
Doesn't look like we have any more questions.
All right, cool. Would someone like to play tic-tac? No, let's play pig. Would someone like to play pig before we go? I almost want to pick someone to play pig. Who do I want to pick? Oren. Let's see if we can get Oren here. Are you there, Oren?
Hi.
Hey, Oren, how's it going?
Good.
All right, so what are you playing in your lessons right now?
I'm playing Ode to Troy.
All right, and how many measures do you have in there? Do you have measures or do you have lines? Do you know? Did you do what Miss Janie asked you to do and put the measures in the beginning?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines.
You have 8 lines. All right, so let's do this. Miss Janie, you play piano, correct?
Yeah.
All right, Miss Janie, do you have your dice out?
I do.
All right, so I'm gonna show you guys an example of combining two games. We're gonna play pig and we're gonna do the dice at the same time. So if Miss Janie does a 1, you're gonna play the first line. If she does a 2, you're gonna do the second line. 3, third line. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna try. We'll give you, how many rounds you wanna do? Let's do 5 rounds. And you're gonna not get pig. Are you ready to play Pig, Mr. Oren?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the enthusiasm I'm looking for. All right. What do we have, Miss Janie? What's the first?
5.
5. Line number 5, Mr. Oren. Excellent. Give him 2 snaps.
Good.
All right. Round number 2. What do you got, Miss Janie?
1.
Line number 1.
Ah, I messed up.
Cool. But also remember, just keep going because I wouldn't know you messed up. So that's 1 P. All right. Round 3. What do you got?
A 4.
4. Line number 4. Two snaps. All right. Or this is the 4th round. What do you got, Miss Janie?
5.
Oh, back to 5. Excellent. Give him 2 snaps. You're getting a lot of snaps out here, Oren. And this is the last round.
You've got a 4.
Back to 4. Here we go. Woohoo! Oren, how long have you been playing?
Not even a year.
Man, you're getting good. Give him 2 snaps for Mr. Oren. I'm passing you a Jolly Rancher through the screen. Did you get it?
No.
All right, I'll work on it. All right, thank you for joining our show.
Thank you.
All right, so I hope that you guys, I'm gonna move from here. And I don't know if we have any guitar players in the house or people that like playing guitar or would like to know how to play the guitar. But on Thursday, we're gonna have Mr. Carlos Garibaldi. He's going to be talking about dynamics and volume control on the guitar. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. If you guys have questions for me, feel free to reach out. And my email, just in case you're wondering, it is Kirk, K-I-R-K, @soundsacademy.org. So Miss Janie, can you do me a favor and please put that in the chat? And then I have one more thing for you that I just remembered. I want to be able to give you guys a survey because we so appreciate your feedback, and your feedback helps us to make these things so much better. So if you guys can just click on this right here, and if you like what you saw today, just tell us what you liked. If you didn't like some things, tell us what you didn't like. If there was a game that you really like, just click on it and tell us what game you really liked. So thank you guys very much, and I look forward to seeing what you guys say in the surveys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.